Bowlers, we have some breaking bowling ball news. Storm has come out and announced a ball on a Monday, which is really, really weird for them. Usually they wait until Fridays, but today we have a first look and a preview at the Storm Equinox. This is a brand new pearl asymmetrical bowling ball that Storm decided to drop right after the Level and the Zen 25 got released. So we're going to dig into everything that we can see about this bowling ball before the release that happens early-ish in December. We'll get into that too. Quick reminder, if you aren't, make sure you subscribe, helps me out a ton, completely free, and then you stay up to date on the latest bowling news. But let's get right into this Equinox. So we have this Storm Equinox. It is this gold, purple, blue, silver looking ball. And there's going to be a common theme that you notice with this entire ball. And we're going to get into it in a second. It actually kicks into it in this first paragraph. With 80% of leagues and weekend tournaments played on oil patterns between 39 and 44 feet. Kind of a cool stat. That fits pretty well. Even in the tournament scene, you don't bowl on much under 39 feet or over 44 feet. It's always in that realm. But then they go into purpose built for league bowlers. You're going to notice a very common theme that this ball is made for the league. This ball is made for easier oil patterns. Something Brunswick, or not Brunswick, Storm hasn't really done very often. They don't really say that they cater towards a league bowler. Now, that is most of the people that buy bowling balls, but usually they want their bowling balls to be good for both leagues and tournaments. And generally, those circles always overlap. If it's good for league, it's generally good for tournaments, and then usually vice versa, depending on a few weird situations. But Storm is really pinpointing this is a league bowling ball designed for these conditions. Signature back-end motion Storm is known for. Equinox is the ideal choice for bowlers looking to dominate their league nights and weekend tournaments. Now, the funny thing with the name, by the way, the X in the back is capitalized. I don't really know why. Just looks kind of cool, I guess. Equinox, just capital E, capital X. But we have Blueberry Crumble, the greatest scent of all time from Storm is back in Blueberry Crumble. This is by far the best scent they've ever had. Release date is February 7th. So we have a little over 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks really, until this ball gets released. So it's actually very, very close. I feel like this was supposed to release last Friday, but they waited till Monday. A little bit weird. A lot of staffers already have the bowling ball. So if you go search on YouTube, you'll be able to see a lot of different or at least a few different reviews that have been dropped. But let's get into the actual nitty gritty. Let's get into the specs. Let's get into the core of what this bowling ball actually is supposed to do, minus just strike in league. So we have AI core as per usual. Storm's really focusing on that AI core. I did hear from somewhere that it is easier for Storm to create the AI core bowling balls than the non-AI core. So you're probably going to see a lot of those non-AI core balls start to go away little by little. Regular durometer, power edge as per usual, asymmetrical ball, and it's this weird A1S cover stock, Pearl Reactive A1S. We're going to get into what that is in just a second. Storm focuses on the A portion of that, very, very hard, but first, getting into the core. Looking at the core, this is a slightly stronger than average asymmetrical bowling ball. You're going to notice at 15 pounds, it's a 2.48 RG, which is pretty low. That's going to make the ball want to hook earlier. You have a 0.054 differential. That's going to cause the ball to flare more than the average bowling ball. And then it has an intermediate differential, or a PSA of 0.018. That's something that's only on asymmetrical bowling balls. And that number, usually the higher it is, the more the ball is going to want to hook in general. So this ball, the core wants to hook. The core really, really wants to hook. But then we get into the core, which is Solarion. I believe I'm saying that right. Solarion sounds pretty cool. It sounds very intense also. It sounds like a villain from like a sci-fi movie. Solarion AI core designed with 3 distinct cylinders. There's a lot of like very technical stuff going on in here. You can skip that if you don't care about the technical side of how to build a bowling ball core. Otherwise, we have a ton of sheets and a ton of things, but then we get into this. What is A1S cover stock? This is really the meat of what this ball is. This shows what it's going to do. So this all new A1S Pearl Reactive cover stock debuts Storm's adhesion system technology, setting a new standard in lane grip and responsiveness. So adhesion system, interesting. So it's exceptional tackiness, pairs perfectly with power edge polish. Together, they deliver the ball motion bowlers crave. So I don't know why all these bubbles are here, but we're going to get into this portion in just a second. I will have it on the screen for you guys to just look at. while I talk about it. So they focus on adhesion. So it sounds like they're trying to make this ball want to grab the lane early, and they're really focusing on that, on the shine of the bowling ball to make it really be skid flippy down lane. I have a feeling with all of this, if you sand this bowling ball, it's going to be radically, radically different than what it is shiny. A lot of bowling balls, you can kind of guess what they're going to do. If they're dull, they're going to hook just a little bit earlier and be a little bit smoother than if you put shine on them. This one might be interesting. This one might hook out of the building if it's sanded. So it might be a little bit weird. Might be a little bit weird in that front, but we have a new core. We have a new cover stock. Very, very intriguing. Looking at this portion, this is pretty basic. Storm has been adding this to all of their bowling balls. Very, very, very cool. I really enjoy it. But you can see flare potential is high. Ball shape is leaning towards angular, not insanely angular though. Like a Road Warrior is around this very angular side. This is leaning towards that front. Hook length, mid lane, a little bit later than earlier. It's a pearl ball, that makes sense. Oil volume, you want it more on medium. This can kind of be all over the place too, is my guess. Pattern length, you want to throw it more on that 39 to 44 feet like it mentioned. And then lane condition is going to be transition. So it's not going to be a fresh oil ball. It's going to be more for transition. But that is what the Storm Equinox is, what I'm seeing on it from others so far, from either staffers or from reviews or things like that, is that this ball really is just stereotypical pearl asymmetrical skid flip down lane. It's going to be a weaker origin is what I'm seeing, but a stronger attention star. So it is interesting that this ball wants to focus on league and the attention star is there and is arguably the best league ball or house shot ball that has been made over the last 1 to 2 years. And this ball is really focusing on league. So I'm guessing it's trying to take the place of that attention star. The attention star has been out for about a year now. So I'm wondering if they're trying to make this take the place of it. Looking at this one versus the virtual energy blackout, which I have pulled up, we're going to look at just the core specs. The core specs are nearly identical. This is the virtual energy, 2.48 RG, 052 differential, 020 intermediate differential versus a 2.48 RG on the Equinox, 054 differential, and 018 PSA intermediate diff. The cores look very, very different. The Vibo core makes it is rounder in general, and that's really the ball shape of it more. So this is not a virtual energy blackout replacement. This is more of like a skid flip, just good house shot bowling ball. Might not be the most used for flatter shots. You're going to want to lean towards things like the harsh reality pearl yet, the physics blackout, the origin, the attention star S2. This is going to be just that extra level of skid flip down lane. Watching a few videos of it, this thing looks to roll pretty good. It does really remind me of the attention star, maybe just a little rounder down lane, so it's not as defined when it hooks as the attention star, which shows that it's a little bit stronger than an attention star. So that's where I'm seeing it fit really into the mold of pearl asymmetric balls from Storm. So it's going to be weaker than the harsh reality, weaker than the physics blackout, weaker than the origin, but it's going to be stronger than things like the attention star, stronger than all of those symmetrical pearl balls in the optimal idle pearl, the phase AI, going to be stronger than the new Zen 25. However, I could see this pairing well with a Zen 25. Right now, I see the Origin and the Zen 25 being one of the best 1-2 pearl combos in Storm's lineup. However, this Equinox might be able to squeeze in there for more of the rev dominant crowd. So this could really be a strong ball for a rev dominant bowler, but for speed dominant, this could be a step below your physics blackout or your origin. That's what I'm seeing it look like. Now, there's a lot of time yet before this bowling ball gets released. There's a lot of things that can come up before then, a lot of reviews that say differently. That is my first impressions. That's what others are leaning towards right now. So it's going to be really interesting if it ends up going in that direction. But it is a brand new pearl asymmetrical Storm ball. Storm's last couple pearls have looked really, really good. They had a downtime for a while where their pearl balls really weren't looking like old Storm pearl balls. They weren't as skid flippy. They were more locking up, slowing down, just not doing what you want a pearl ball to do. This one hopefully follows where the Origin and the Road Warrior all kind of took off, just a little bit sharper, that true Storm skid flip motion that we all know and love. So if you're a league bowler, this might be the one ball a year you buy. Now, before I go into further in that, we're going to open up Bowler's Mart. So Bowler's Mart has this ball listed at $199.95. So it is $200 bowling ball. This is the most expensive price point from Storm Bowling. This is the most expensive ball you can buy from them. This is arguably one of the most expensive balls on the market now. You have the Jackal Onyx on top. You have a couple of motive balls in that upper end that are slightly above this Equinox, but not by much. And then you have the Ion Max and the Physics Blackout and the Equinox. I should check the Physics Blackout. Let's see if Bowler Smart wants to cooperate. That the physics is actually $10 cheaper. Never mind. It is just the Ion Max and this Physics Black and this Equinox, sorry, as the most expensive balls. Now that is the one downside to it. But if you're somebody who is okay with spending a little bit of money and you just want your one ball for a league, you bowl a couple of leagues, you like pearl bowling balls, you like asymmetrical pearl bowling balls, this might be the play for you. This might be the ball that you look towards. It does release in February, kind of an awkward time for leagues because leagues are just starting to dwindle down. You're in the last month or so. So this is going to be more of a ball for next year for some people for league, which is a-okay. That's definitely fine. But this Equinox seems to be very, very interesting. There isn't any extra information inside of any of the lovely Bowler Smart information. Regular flare potential, blueberry crumble, as we all know and love. So nothing crazy. This ball does still release on February 7th, though, something good to know. But that is, I think, pretty much everything we have on this Equinox. Now, I will have some videos coming out soon. I will be getting a lot of videos of this thing because we are going to be going to Pennsylvania in a couple of weeks, and Storm junior staffer Maribeth Baker hopefully will have this bowling ball. Sounds like she might have it in her hand, so we're going to get a ton of videos from her. We're going to get her thoughts, get some comparisons, and see what it all looks like. So we're going to have a lot for this Equinox coming very, very soon. But with that, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Make sure to subscribe and like if you have not. Really helps me out a ton, and I'd really appreciate it. And it all increases your pin carry by 10%. If you hit that subscribe button, it's 15%. If you hit the like button, it's an extra 10%. Crazy. You're not leaving a 10 pin in league this week if you do that. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and see you all later.